And we're back here on the GSMC Baseball Podcast, bringing you our third segment, which is going to be talking about my power rankings, numbers 21 to 30. We just, of course, did numbers 1 to 10 and then 11 to 20 on the show. So if you want to watch those, they're probably on YouTube, or if they're not, you can go on the live stream and reverse back till you see it on the screen here about power rankings, whatever segment you want to watch. But before we go into now numbers 21 to 30, finishing off my Friday power rankings for this week, we'll ask you again to please like and follow the show. We do get a number of questions from viewers, so to ensure that your question does get read in the air, please use the link gsmcpodcast.net. It really does help the show, and it really does mean a lot, so thank you so much for that. And let's get back into the show for today. All right, so again, numbers 21 to 30, third segment here. You guys get the drill. Going to be reading off all these teams again. They are, of course, worse than all the teams above them, but really, it's only once we get to, I would say, number 27, that's when it really starts to get bad, and you start to see the real bad teams of this league. So, yeah, let's get started off with number 21, which is going to be the Chicago Cubs. Now, it is interesting that I have the Cubs below the team they bought from. I, of course, had the Rays at 20, and the Cubs bought probably their best player from them, Isaac Paredes. But the Cubs still don't have a great team. I think their pitching rotation, even though I really like it a lot, has taken a little bit of a dive. Shota Managa has been as great recently. Jameson Tine has been good, but how long is that going to keep up? Also, in your offense, there's just a lot of underperforming talent right now. Man, you just lost one of your big-time relief pitchers, Adbert Alzolay, who's already been dealing with injuries, but pretty sure now it's official that he'll be out for the rest of the season. So, overall, I like this Cubs team a lot on paper, but that's really been the problem. They have not put it together. Craig Counsell, unfortunately, has not been the big-time manager you expect him to be. I still think he'll be really good. It's just he's been a little bit of a disappointment since coming over there to Chicago. So, I like this Cubs team a lot on paper. It's just they got to put everything together. Players got to start performing up to their standard, and that's really all you got to do for the Cubs. And not really looking far. Mark Leiter Jr. is a loss to that bullpen, as is Hunter Bigby, but I'm sure you can replace those guys pretty fine. And again, you traded first for Morel, but to get an upgrade at third base position, Isaac Paredes, the third base upgrade you've been looking for a little while now. You have a really good infield now with Paredes, Swanson, Horner, and most likely Bellinger at first base, I believe. Well, we'll see if you trade for a superstar first baseman in the offseason or sign one. Pete Alonso and Vladimir Guerrero Jr., I think, are possible, but that's a conversation for a different day. So, I do have the Cubs here at number 21. 22, I have the Cincinnati Reds. Reds have so much talent on this team. It's just a shame all the injuries happened. I think once Matt McClain was out it was announced that he would be out for most, if not all, of the year, and then Noelvi Marte got suspended for PEDs. It really was just going all downhill for you guys. It really wasn't, it really just made it clear that it wasn't your year, and that's just kind of unfortunate. Again, I think the Reds have a ton of talent, are one of the best young teams in this entire league, and the fact that all these injuries happened, and again, it just became clear that it wasn't going to be your year, really sucks, because also, Elly De La Cruz is finally playing up to the potential that we all expected of him, and it's really unfortunate that he's not going to be on a national stage, and people aren't going to really know how well he's doing, because the Reds aren't doing that well. Now, MLB's done a lot to market him, of course, being he was in the All-Star game, has done some promos with the MLB social media accounts, but still, I think, needs a lot more exposure, and that only comes when the Reds are good, so that's definitely one of the big things that's wanting the Reds to be good right now. So, do have them here at number 22. Still a lot of talent. Still a really nice starting rotation with the top two of Dolo and Green. I'm sure Chase Burns will be up rather quickly. So, still do have them here at number 22. 23, I have the Detroit Tigers. Tigers, of course, traded Jack Flaherty, which is a big loss. But other than that, really no one else. Still have a great pitching staff in Derek Skubal, who is maybe the best pitcher in all of baseball. You also have Reese Olson back there, who's also solid. Jackson Jobe should be up relatively soon. Offense has just been the big problem. Again, I've said it multiple times, but if your three prospects of Colt Keith, Spencer Torkelson, and Parker Meadows were able to hit, I think we're looking at this Tigers team in a whole new light, because you do have players here that can hit. You have guys that you can look at as people of your future. Justin Henry Malloy has been a nice person there. You also, of course, have Riley Green, who's been absolutely fantastic. Matt Vierling's been a pretty solid bat since coming over from Philly. So there is a lot of pieces on this Tigers team. It's just there's not enough, and they have to put it together. And trading Flaherty now is only going to make your rotation worse for this year and the future as well. So going to be a very, very interesting team to watch for a little while. 24, I am going to be having the Toronto Blue Jays. Basically sold off everyone of value with a year left on their contract. I think they should have done more. As I said before in my trade deadline video, I think it's pretty insane they didn't even shop Chris Bassett and Kevin Gosman, considering how high the prices were for starting pitching. But I'm not in charge of them. So overall, still have a really nice core there with Vladdy, with Bo Bichette, who of course hasn't done great there, Dalton Varsho. But it's just about putting it together, about everyone playing up to their standards, and they just haven't done that. Again, I was a big proponent that the Blue Jays should blow it up, should sell off this team, should go into a deep rebuild, but they obviously disagreed for some reason and are now going to try to compete again next year. Good luck with that. Don't really think it's going to work. So I do have the Blue Jays here at number 24. Number 25, I'm going to be having the Washington Nationals. Nationals aren't a horrible team. It's just, again, as I've said multiple times now on the show, I think it's just not their year. I think going into next year, they'll be a genuinely very good team. You have James Wood for a full season. Dylan Cruz coming up. DJ Abrams will become a star. Can get one of the prospects you got back in the Lane Thomas trade. I think Jose Tena could probably be a starting third baseman next year. Juan Yep has been a nice surprise for you guys. Keeper Ruiz is solid at there at start as catcher. So overall, there are a lot of good pieces on this Nationals team. Have a really nice, good young rotation as well. But again, just looking towards next year right now, I think really next year is when all the guys are going to start to come up. Really, everyone is going to break out, and that's when I'm going to see that's really when I'm going to see all the different young national stars come up and play and really be in a full season. This is where it starts to get bad. Won't lie to you. 26, we have the Angels. Of course, Mike Trout is now out for the rest of the year, which of course is going to be my segment 5. But other than that, you still were never going to do that good. I don't know why you didn't trade off some of your rentals, though. I mean, why are Brandon Drury and Kevin Pillar still here? That makes no sense. Luis Rengifo and Tyler Anderson all should have probably been gone, so I don't know what they were doing at the deadline. Only thing that saved them was the insane return you got back for Carlos Estevez. But overall, Angels still are not good. Still do not have a lot of good players. This team is bad. End of story. We kind of know this already about the Angels. They're a really bad team, and I'm not going to spend too much time on them. 27, I'm going to be having the A's. A's should have blown it up more. Should have tried to trade Mason Miller. Should have tried to trade Brent Rooker. Didn't really do either. Got some good returns back for the guys you did trade, but I think should have done a little better. And this team is just absolutely awful. So I do have the A's here at number 27. Rockies 28. Why did you not trade Elias Diaz? Why did you not trade Cobb Wantrell? I went off on it yesterday. I don't have the energy to do it today, but yeah, this Rockies team is a mess. They do have some nice young players coming up. Ezekiel Tovar is on some insane hitting streak right now. Adele Amador is going to be a really nice player in the future. Brenton Doyle has become really solid. I think Charlie Condon should be on your starting roster next year. Ryan McMahon is obviously a star. So there are some pieces growing here for this Rockies team. Jordan Beck is here as well. There are some pieces starting to, become prevalent for this Rockies team, but still should have done more at the deadline. And yeah, I think that's just really it. Now, finally, the two worst teams in baseball. We all know who they are, but what order will I have them in? 29, I'm going to be having the Chicago White Sox. Yes, not the Marlins. The Marlins are the worst team in baseball. I'll explain why. But the White Sox are just absolutely awful. Traded basically everyone who's good. Didn't create Crochet or Robert, which makes sense because no teams were very interested in Robert because his price was too high, and then Crochet made those demands about his contract extension and playing in the playoffs. So all teams were kind of scared off by that, so they didn't get traded. But still, overall, this White Sox team is absolutely awful. They're going into a deep rebuild, and yeah. 30 is the Marlins. The Marlins are the worst team in baseball. Every single person who was good in this team is gone, as they should have done, by the way. That was the right decision. More teams should learn from that to go all in on a certain decision. Whether you're buying, whether you're selling, go all in. Especially for a team like the Marlins, who are just so awful. No good players in this team really anymore. This team is really bad, and it's going to be very fun to watch them for the rest of the year. So, recapping my power rankings here, I'll go after it. Number 1, I have the New York Yankees. 2, Baltimore Orioles. 3, Los Angeles Dodgers. 4, Philadelphia Phillies. 5, Cleveland Guardians. 6, Houston Astros. 7, Kansas City Royals. 8, Milwaukee Brewers. 9, New York Mets. 10, Atlanta Braves. 11, Minnesota Twins. 12, San Diego Padres. 13, Seattle Mariners. 14, Boston Red Sox. 15, Arizona Diamondbacks. 16, St. Louis Cardinals. 17, Pittsburgh Pirates. 18, San Francisco Giants. 19, Texas Rangers. 20, Tampa Bay Rays. 21, Chicago Cubs. 22, Detroit Tigers. 22, Cincinnati Reds. 23, Detroit Tigers. Sorry, I said them again. 24, Toronto Blue Jays. 25, Washington Nationals. 26, Los Angeles Angels. 27, Oakland Athletics. 28, Colorado Rockies. 29, Chicago White Sox. And 30, Miami Marlins. So that is it for our power rankings for this Friday. Top 3 seconds. We'll be going into our 4th segment, which is going to be talking about Kobe Mayo and him being called up by the Baltimore Orioles, one of the top prospects in all baseball. So we will be going over that, and we'll see you after the break. So thanks, and bye.